first and foremost, we need to remember that he is a silver presidential director, and it is his 20th year of being a presidential director, and it's very fitting. It's very fitting that he's actually out here celebrating our 20th with us in Australia, being that it's his 20th year. Kevin? Not yet, Kevin. You see, they made me you guys know how much I talk. I talked so much that they gave me cheat sheets I didn't talk so much. So, there you go. So, Kevin, not only is he a silver presidential director, Kevin is also on the board of directors of Manatech Inc., which is, in its own, is a phenomenal achievement. Guys, I have the pleasure of sitting on the board at times and sitting in the meetings, and I want you to understand that Kevin is not only a board member, but he is a champion for the field. And he questions the board on every decision made as to, do they understand the implications of decisions that are made. And I want you to understand, Kevin is your champion when it comes to the board. He really, truly represents the field, which to me is amazing. So I think we need to acknowledge that as well. And then the other gift Kevin brings with him is that he has been, I don't know, I'd like to say he fathered the compensation plan, but that doesn't sound too good. I could use birthed, but even that doesn't sound good. But Kevin has been involved because of his knowledge of the previous comp plans and being in the business for so long. You know, he was brought in as part of the initial team to evaluate our existing compensation plan and then work through with a first set of experts and then a second set of experts, work through, I don't know, I think I lost count of meetings, maybe 20 meetings, maybe 30 reiterations. But Manatech, as I said once before, took it very, very seriously to go in and look at the compensation plan and didn't do it lightly and did it properly. We ran model after model after model after model. And, you know, it was tedious hours and hours and hours of Kevin's time that he spent working on the compensation plan. So today, he is regarded in the building as our foremost expert in the compensation plan. It's so bad that he's even got an office in our building so that he permanently lives on the site. So, you know, this next section, as I said, is all about compensation plans. So who better to actually come up on stage and demystify and simplify the compensation plan than Kevin. So if you guys will stand up and help me give a warm Australian welcome to Silver Presidential Kevin Roberts.
All right. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! You guys have the greatest chant, country chant of anybody out there. Most countries don't even have a chant, right? We don't have one in the U.S., but you have a great country chant. I love hearing that from you guys. Well, it is a pleasure for me to be here. I've been to Australia, I think 4 times now, but this is my first time to come to Adelaide. So I'm super happy to be here. I understand it's a beautiful place. I haven't seen much of it yet, but I believe on Sunday and maybe a little Monday, we'll get to really enjoy Adelaide. So I have a question for you. So Chris was saying that there was a form passed out where you were self-rating yourself on the compensation plan from 1 to 10, your understanding of the compensation plan. Do we have any 10s in the audience? Do I have any 10s? 1? Okay, couple, all right. Don't be shy, it's okay to be a 10. That's awesome, fantastic. Do we have any 1s? Do we have any 1s in the audience? Give these folks a hand. 1s. Well, I have great news. You don't have to be a 10 after the session is over. You don't have to graduate to a 10 to understand the compensation, to be very, very successful in this business. And I also want to say something else too. Did Dr. Nugent have a test that was given out afterwards where we were rating their knowledge? You're gonna be rating your compensation knowledge after I speak. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. But you don't have to be 10s, all right? Not at all. What we're going to talk about tonight is hopefully going to simplify some of the things that you may have heard before. But more importantly, what I want to do is to give you the confidence to know how to go speak about the compensation plan, to inspire someone else to come learn about our business, to come do our business, and to be able to kind of show them some idea of what they can make in this industry, in our business specifically, and be very successful doing that. So if we can accomplish that, do you agree that that would be a successful session tonight? Yes. All right, fantastic. So we're going to do several different things this evening. I'm going to tell a little bit of my personal story. We are going to talk about the compensation plan. We're going to talk about network marketing. For me, that was one of my biggest hang-ups and challenges, was just understanding this business, understanding our industry. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our industry. We're going to look at some modeling. I've had a lot of people ask me about, well, what if we built this strategy? And well, what if we built in this strategy? Well, what would that mean for me? So I'm going to share with you some modeling, just some different ways of building the business. And then at the end, I'm going to be introducing something new, a new promotion that we're starting here in Australia. I guess we're starting it today, all right? So a new promotion that we are starting that I think has got some really exciting elements to it that can help connect some of the other dots in our plan to kind of put it all together. And then ultimately, we're going to finish tonight with showing you guys just some ideas around a system that I've been working with. And that's how we're going to finish the evening. So we got a lot to cover tonight, so let's go ahead and get started. So Chris already introduced me, but I don't know that he told you that my other name is Heaps Good Cobber. Heaps Good Cobber. Where did that come from? Well, your friend James Hannon the other day posted this on Facebook. What is your Aussie nickname? And you have to find your birthday. And for me, it's July. So July is Heaps Good. And then you have to find your day. Again, for me, the 27th is Cobber. So I'm Heaps Good Cobber. And you also know my birthday. So now you can send me something on my birthday, a card or something, make me feel good. So Heaps Good Cobber. You can find yourself on there. I've heard somebody was like a cranky rat that I met. I think that might have been somebody at our table back there, Sandy or something. All right, everybody's finding themselves. Who's got a real good one? Yes. You got to speak up. Fair dinkum button up? Okay. How about somebody else? Who's got a good one? Yes.
Dead Set Galah.
Dead Set Galah. All right. Is anybody like a frothy mullet? Yes. A frothy chunder. All right. A frothy chunder. All right. Well, James, thank you very much for that. All right. So from now on, I will just go by Heaps Good Cobber. I like it. Heaps good. So what are your dreams? Why are you here? Why'd you come to this conference? Probably some of you came to learn more about the products, more about the science. Hope you got that covered. Check that off. That was a great talk this afternoon by Dr. Steve Nugent. Really, had the opportunity to have some dinner with him earlier and said I really appreciated his analogy of the cell phone. To me, that really connected the cell phone technology with our glyconutrition, our glycan technology. Really love that. That was fantastic. So some of you came for the products and science and validation. Got that. But I hope somebody came here tonight because you want to build your dreams. You've got dreams. You want to do something different with your life. You want something more, something better, something different. And I don't know what that is, but what I want you to know is that your dreams can come true. And we're going to talk about that. But see, the problem is that we all have dreams. We all, especially when we were young, we had dreams when we were a kid, and we thought we were going to do big things and have all this extra money and travel and this great family experience, and we were going to do this and do that. And then what happens is the reality of your pocketbook starts to intervene with your dreams. And so at some point in life, people have a crossroads. People have an opportunity where they either have to start shrinking their dreams, and that's what most people do, is you realize, I'm probably not going to accomplish all that. I need to lower my sights just a little bit because, I've got, this responsibility and that responsibility, and I'm only making this much money. And so there's no real hope in your mind to do something bigger than that. So you can't be out of alignment with your dream, or it's just a hope or a wish. If it's a real dream, that's something you want to accomplish. So the way to put that back in alignment is to shrink your dreams. Or maybe consider this. What if you expanded the money that you make? What if you created some extra income and grew your income to a point where you could start to then expand your dreams? So if you're sitting in here tonight, I would have to assume that you didn't come to this conference to learn how to shrink your dreams. Because we can do that on our own, right? We have plenty of friends and brother-in-laws that can shrink our dreams for us. What you came to this conference to learn is how to expand your income. How can we grow our income? So if it's okay with you, that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of my segment, okay? No dream shrinking here. We're going to expand our income. So what I want to do first is actually share with you some of my initial dreams. When I was a kid growing up, I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy football player. And I would get dressed up on Sundays, wearing my uniform and getting dressed up in front of the television. And when the game was going on, I'd roll around the living room floor and I'd act out all the plays. And I just knew that I was going to grow up to be a Dallas Cowboy football player. Well, sometimes your dreams get squashed, not because of financial reasons, but because the reality was, I realized I didn't have the size, the strength, the talent, the speed, any of that to be a football player. That's me. That is me right there. I'm not playing like up a division. I'm just really small. And really small people don't have a real good chance to play in the NFL. So that dream didn't work out for me. Another dream that I had when I was young is I thought I was going to follow my dad into the military. He was in the Army. And, I loved wearing his clothes, and those are his boots. And I thought one day I was going to end up in the Army. But that dream didn't work out either. I got dressed up as an Army in like Halloween and stuff. But I didn't follow my dad into the military. And so that dream didn't work out. I had to have new dreams. Well, I went to college and ended up getting out into the corporate world. And I was selling real estate. This is probably 1992 or 1993 when I started selling real estate, working for Coldwell Banker, and I really loved what I did. I was enjoying life. I was pretty successful at it. One year I was Rookie of the Year for Coldwell Banker when I started out. And then a couple years later, about 1994, my dad got this crazy idea to get involved and start this new company that he was so excited about, that had this great scientific nutrition products, and they were going to have this great opportunity and work for yourself. And boy, he was just really fired up about it. And I didn't really want anything to do with this new business. Not because I didn't trust my dad or didn't believe in my dad, but I was just so busy. I was skeptical. I wasn't looking for an opportunity. And at the end of the day, I just really wasn't interested. I don't know if you ever met somebody like that. Maybe in Australia, you meet a lot of people that they got plenty of time. They're not skeptical. They're looking for opportunity, just everyone you talk to. But I was the opposite of that. I wasn't interested in doing this as a business. But my dad was very persistent in pursuing me to look at Mannatech as a business. And so ultimately, what I had to answer, the question that I had to answer, and the question that people that you talk to, they may not voice this when they give you some flippant answer about, I'm just too busy, or, I'm not looking for an opportunity, or is it one of those deals, or whatever. You know what they're really saying is, I don't believe that it's worth it. Or I don't understand that it's worth it. Because if they don't believe, or I'll personalize it, I didn't believe that it was worth it to do the things that you had to do to be successful in this business. So I'm going to talk just a few minutes about why this business is worth it. Why this business is worth it. So I don't know how many of you have read Richard Brooks' book about the 4-year career. He's done some trainings for us back in the U.S. What Richard talks about is no different from some of the same concepts that my dad talks about, that people in this industry have been talking about for 30 and 40 years. But Richard has a way of kind of saying things in a way that, to me, really makes sense. So I'm going to kind of outline a few of the concepts that Richard has, and hope maybe that makes sense to you. Because here's one of the things that I've learned in this business is when people ask you about how does the business work, tell me more about your business, or maybe at some point they show some inkling of an interest. At that moment in time, they're not asking you to explain the compensation plan. And if that moment, how does your business work? And you immediately launch into how the compensation plan works, they're like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's all Greek to me. What they want to know is it worth it? Is what you're asking me to do, first of all, they're asking, what are you asking me to do? And then, is it worth it? That's what they're asking. So to understand some of these basic principles, I believe, is very important to talking about the business. The first principle here is understanding the difference between linear income and leveraged income. Do you know what linear income is? Is you do this, you get that. It's essentially trading your time for money. It's anyone who's ever had a job knows what linear income is. You are making $10 an hour, you work 10 hours, you make $100, right? So we understand the concept of you do this, you get that. Linear income always requires you to do this to get that, to put the time in to get paid. You got to work those 10 hours, you got to work those 40 hours, you got to work this week, you got to work this month, you got to put the time in to earn the money. That's what the mindset is. If you ever stopped working, if you ever stopped putting the time in, then the money goes to zero, right? That's linear income. People can understand the concept of linear income. The problem that we have in our industry is that when we start talking to people about our industry, about earning money in our business, and maybe we talk about, hey, you can do this, and maybe you can earn $500 a month, or maybe you can do $1,000 a month, or even if it's $1,500 a month, they immediately think it's linear income. They think you're talking about linear income. And they're thinking, well, I'll just go get a part-time job at the local store. I'll go drive an Uber. I'll go work at Walmart and say, hello, how are you? Welcome to Walmart. And I can make $1,000 a month doing that part-time. Why do I want to do your business? They need to understand, we need to understand, that what we're offering people is something called leveraged income. Leveraged income, think of leveraged money as an investment, where people understand the concept of leveraging your money with other people's money and making more money on your investment over time, making a return on your investment over time. Well, in our business, we can leverage people's time, energy, and efforts as a team. And so what our business does is, instead of it just being paid for your own efforts, maybe you're working 5 hours or 10 hours a week, we also pay you for your entire team's effort. You can leverage your time with other people on your team. So that's one critical component, is being able to leverage your time, your effort, your energy with other people. The other concept that's very, very important in this industry for people to understand is the power of compounding. I'm going to give you a pop test. Now, this pop test already shows you the answer. So before I flash it on the screen, I'm just going to ask it out. What is 2 times 2 times 2? 2 times 2 times 2. 8. Got some smart people in Australia. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. But in our industry, by using leverage, this compounding of people, we compound people's efforts in our industry. So in our industry, 2 times 2 times 2 is actually 2 plus 4 plus 8 equals 14. Because see, if you got two people who got two people who got two people, you don't have 8 on your team, you have 14 people on your team. Compounding comes from other people bringing other people who buy products, who customers, associates, all that, but that's where the compounding comes from. I mean, the people are on your team. Now, 2 times 2 times 2 equals 14 in our business. Well, what is 3 times 3 times 3? Compounding, it's 39. There's 39 people. One more person compounded is now 39. How big do you think it gets if we did 4? 4 times 4 times 4, you add all that up, it's 84. We're going to bring this idea of compounding back at the end of my talk, because I'm going to show you some models based upon compounding at either using 3 as a multiplier or 4 as a multiplier. And I want to tell you that it's quite astounding, the difference. And you're seeing it a little bit here, just kind of in three levels, the amount of extra people you have from simply adding one more. So compounding, right? So that's what the concept of compounding is. Let's go through now the cornerstones of network marketing, and I'm going to tie all this together. So these are the questions that people would have, whether they ask them directly or whether they're in their mind, is the first thing they want to know is, where do the people come from? You're talking about these concepts of adding people and introducing new people, and where do they come from? They don't know where they come from. Well, obviously it's people that we know and people that they know, but it comes from compounding. This is where we would talk about, as you introduce 2 or 3 people to Manatech, and then encourage them to introduce 2 or 3 people, that's where we would introduce the philosophy of compounding. That's where the people come from. The next concept that people don't understand is sales and volume. Because we talk about volume a lot, and sometimes if we jump right into the middle of a comp plan and we're talking about you got to have 10,000 volume for this, and you got to have side volume and this and that, people don't understand, well, where does this volume thing that you speak of? Where does sales and volume come from? Well, the compounding, the people that come into our business, whether they're, again, associates or customers, they buy products. They buy them for themselves, and what we do in our business is we simply add up the cumulative amount of all the sales, individual purchases, and we call that your team volume. And the more people you have, the more products that are purchased on your team, the more volume you have. That's just a basic understanding of how our business works. The next question, well, how do I get paid? Well, without going into a complicated compensation discussion, the way that we get paid in this industry is when the people who come in through compounding and purchase products, and that adds up to volume, the way our business, and frankly all the businesses in network marketing, the way that works is you earn a small percentage, usually somewhere between 5 to 10% of the entire volume of your team. So the more volume you have, the more money you make, right? So we share in the effort to build the business. We share in the effort to bring on new customers and new associates through the leveraged business, and then through the purchasing of the products, we all share in the income. Everyone has that same ability to do the same thing. Does that make sense? Now, here is what I call the coup de grace. This is what I love, this concept. This is what separates what we do from going to get a job at Walmart. And again, I have nothing personal about Walmart, but just a part-time job making $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is per month. It's called asset income because, see, in our business, you're building an asset. In our business, when people purchase our products, you know what happens? They like them. They get good results. And they purchase them again, and they buy them again. So as you start to build your team, as you get people on board your team through compounding who are buying products, they're happy consumers of the products, and they buy those products again and again and again. So you're building an asset. So what is an asset? What does that look like? Well, if you had an asset of cash, if you had $100,000 and you were to invest $100,000 into an investment or a bank or stock market or whatever, and you earn 6% return from that investment, it would pay you $500 per month. Right? Everybody follow me? If you have $100,000 in cash, you put it into an investment that's earning 6% interest, it would pay you $500 per month. Well, what if we flipped it around and said, what if you had an asset income business that paid you $500 every month from the people that came in through compounding, that are buying products and adding volume, that you earn a percentage of the percentage of commission off the sales and volume every single month? You have an asset and you're earning $500 a month. Do you see that income, that asset income is equivalent to you having $100,000 invested in the bank? So the question is, which one seems harder? To accumulate $100,000 cash and put it in the bank or put it into some investment so you can make $500 a month? Or to do some of the principles that we're going to talk about tonight, building a list and contacting people and following up and showing the plan and doing a few things. Maybe it takes you a month or two, or what if it takes you 6 to get to a place where you're making $500 a month, but now you have an asset income business that's equivalent to you having $100,000 in the bank? What if instead of $500 a month, it was $1,000 a month? Now it's equivalent to having $200,000 in the bank. What if you were making $5,000 a month in an asset income business? Do you realize that's the equivalent of having $1 million in the bank? And I don't care whether you're thinking $1 million Australian dollars or $1 million US or $1 million Canadian dollars, it's a lot of money. So when people can understand that concept, that's what we're talking about. That's what our industry does, is it allows people to build an asset income. You can will it to your children. It's so much more valuable than going to get a linear income job where you got to show up every day to make the money, to make the 500, to make the 1,000 or whatever it is. But as soon as you stop, it ends. You're not building an asset in any way, shape, or form. So for me, once I really understood the concept of network marketing, that was a real trigger for me to be more bold in talking to people about network marketing. I'm going to share a story with you guys. I wasn't planning on sharing the story. I was having dinner with Al and Dr. Nugent, as I said earlier, and Al Bala was sharing some really interesting stories of his journey through this industry, way before Manatech, but his beginnings, journeys in this industry. And he was sharing some crossroads moment that he had in this business where he had a choice to do one thing or do another, and he chose the direction of this industry. And so I just thought I would share one quick story with you guys for my ultimate journey in this business. So I told you in the beginning, I really wasn't interested in doing this business, but I was kind of playing at it for the first couple of years, and I was showing up to meetings, and I invited a few people, and eventually I got one leg going. Got one leg. It was a pretty good leg. But I didn't really have anything else. And it was a different comp plan at the time, but there's not any comp plan in the world that pays you on one leg. So I had one leg, not much else, and I had very little income from that business. I was making about $100 a month from my business. I was just playing around with it. I didn't understand asset income, or I probably would have realized it was more valuable than I thought. But at that same time, I was working at Coldwell Banker, and I actually got a full-time job working for this company called Volt Services Group, which is a temporary service company. We placed temporary employees. So I had a full-time job. I was doing real estate on the side. I was actually kind of phasing out real estate because I realized that when you're single and starting out in real estate, I thought about money and deals all the time because you always had to have something in the pipeline. So I was kind of looking for more stability. And at the same time, I worked on the weekends selling cars. All right, so I had a little real estate business. I had a full-time job. And on the weekends, on Saturdays, I went to a car dealership. My best friend was a finance manager at a car dealership. And I really had a good time selling cars on the weekends. I'd just show up on Saturdays. It was busy as heck. I'd sell a few cars, and I made about $800 a month selling cars on the weekends. And I did that for about a year. Well, this one particular month, the manager called me in to his office, which he didn't ever call me into his office before. I was just kind of a part-timer. And he said, hey, some of the employees here are a little jealous of you coming in on Saturdays and making, as much as some of them, because they're here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I just show up on Saturday when it's busy. And he said, I love you working here. He said, I'd like to offer you a full-time job, but I'm not going to be able to have you just come in on Saturdays. So I said, I don't want a full-time job selling cars. So I said, all right, I'm going to have to quit. So I quit that business selling cars on Saturdays. I was making $800 a month. Well, that put a big old hole in my finances. I wasn't making that much money from my other jobs. Again, I was single at the time. I wasn't married. And so I had a decision to make that month. Where was I going to get that extra money? So that month, I made the decision that I was going to get more serious about this Manatech business. And I started calling people and inviting them to meetings. And I ended up, I don't know what, she's a cousin. She's my mom's cousin. So it's a little bit of distant cousin, but somebody that was in my family that wasn't already in Manatech. 'Cause this is like 2 years after my dad was already putting in everybody he knew. So I had somebody in my family that wasn't already in. She was in Louisiana, so she signed up. And she invited me to come to a meeting in Louisiana. This all happened over like a 2-week period of time after I quit that job. I show up to Louisiana. I wasn't doing meetings at all. There was 30 people in the room, and they wanted me to do a presentation. So I went and I winged it, and I did my best. But we ended up putting quite a few people in that month. Do you realize so the next month when the checks came out, I made almost $800 in my Manatech business. And that's when I said, I can do this. I can do this. But you've got to put the effort. You've got to decide. I wasn't ready until I made the decision. All right, I'm going to quit messing around with some of the other things, and I want to focus on this business. And for me, that's what it took. But understanding these principles of network marketing was critical for me to really understand how this business works. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through the compensation plan. And by the way, I just want to say that the timer is offline, so I can't see. I don't have any idea how long I've been up here. So if we can get that back online, it would probably be very helpful for everybody here. All right, so we're going to go through the compensation overview. Now, this is not a deep dive in the compensation plan. Remember, I told you, my job today is not to get you from wherever you are, from a 1 to a 10 or from a 5 to a 10. My job today is to help you gain more confidence in the plan, but in order to do that, I'm going to go over some of the basic elements of the plan, okay? So first of all, some of you might be new in here, and whether you are or whether you've been here from day one, it's important to understand that our plan in general, what we're trying to accomplish with our compensation plan, because your plan drives behavior. That number one, we want to reward people for being a product of the product. We have got so many loyal consumers in our business that the first and foremost, we want to reward people for being a product of the product. So that is part of our plan. We also want to reward you for servicing and retaining customers. We've always had customers. We've always had lots of customers in our business. Before the plan that we have now, we tended to put everyone in as what we call an associate, whether they were a business builder or just purely a customer. So now our new plan has a distinction. We have associates that can earn money, and then we have customers that are just a pure customer. They love the products. They can buy it at the same price. And so we're more accommodating to both our customers and associates. You're going to see when I talk about a system later on, though, that the value of the associate is so much greater, not because customers aren't valuable. We love customers. Customers are fantastic. But do you know what customers are? They're linear income. You know why? Because customers only buy products. They don't help you leverage your business with other people. Now they can give some referrals and that sort of stuff, but customers are linear. Still good, still valuable. We reward for that, but we want to build through leverage. So we want to be able to sell products, expand our associate team through building leverage. We want to be able to create volume and sales. I've already explained to you where volume and sales come from, right? People buying products. The more people you have, the more volume you have. So we want to get more people buying products. We also want to reward you for developing leaders. That's a very critical component. Our compensation plan actually has several parts of the plan that directly reward you for developing leaders. Do you know that there's some plans out in the industry, I won't name them, but there's some plans that at some point, the person that you brought in and you've been working with and teaching and training and growing, and they reach a certain level and they literally break away from your organization. And you might make a little teeny fraction of their future business. We don't have one of those plans. Our plan continues to reward you again and again for developing leaders. And then last, retention. Retention is extremely important. That's retention of our business associates. That's retention of our customers. That's retention of people in this business. All that put together are the goals of our compensation plan. So the first thing I want to show you guys is our leadership path. Now remember, I've already explained to you about volume. So our leadership path essentially rewards you for growing volume. You rank up when you grow more volume. That's how you rank up. Now, I'm not getting into side volume and all that in this discussion today, but I think we understand the principle that the more volume you have, the more people you have buying products, the more volume you have, the higher rank you can have in Manatech. So we have quite a few positions. So this is our associate position all the way up through presidential, and you can see, we'll look at director. For director, you need 1,500 volume, 1,500 what we call PV, it's against people buying products, to be a director. You need 2,500 volume to be a silver director. And then on it goes. To be a gold director, you need 4,000, and then you can see the numbers from there. The plan continues past presidential, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, our star platinum positions, and then we have crown ambassador. Again, the distinction for these positions are volume. Now again, it is total volume. You have to have side volume. There's some structure for these. I'm not getting into that granular of an explanation today. But if you just understand the principle of growing volume, then you understand the basics of ranking up. And as you rank up, you can make more money. So now I want to show you the 6 ways of earning income. Hope I didn't break that. Did I break that? No, it wasn't me? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so the 6 ways of earning income. The first way, we cheat a little bit here because there's like 2 ways in the first way, but they're customer bonuses. They're customer bonuses. So now I told you earlier that we're going to reward you for developing customers, for having people that buy products, whether they're your neighbor or somebody you work with, just somebody that initially says, I want to just try the products. I'm going to be a customer. So what we do is we have a program called the Power Seller Bonus that pays you 5 to 15% of the commissionable volume of your customer volume. So the way that works is just the more volume you have, the higher percentage that you earn. So that's the Power Seller Bonus. Again, today I'm just trying to give you the basics of what the Power Seller Bonus is. We have something called an AQ bonus. So the first one, the Power Seller, just rewards you for having customers. Any customer volume you have, you're going to earn 5 to 15% of that, depending on how much total you have. The second component of this says that If those customers are on automatic order, we're going to pay you even more. So again, most of you have seen this, that if you have 5 customers in automatic order, that's called an AQ bonus, AQ personal, you would earn $95. Then if you enroll 2 other associates and they have their 5, then you earn an additional $380. That's called the AQ bonus. Then we have something called the business development bonus. I'm going to be talking about that at the end of my presentation, because most of you are like, what's the business development bonus? Something that I'm going to introduce new today, coming in February, all right? So we'll get to that in just a moment, but I'll give you a little teaser. What if instead of saying, the AQ, we love it, it's great, it's got to have 5, it's got to be 100 order, it's got to be an automatic order. What if we said, what if we just said, let's just simplify it? What if you just had to have 500 volume? However you got there, 500 volume, all right? So that's what the business development bonus is, but we'll come back to that at the end of my presentation. All right, so the next bonus is called the first order bonus. This is actually one that says, when you're enrolling somebody new, instead of trying to figure out what rank you are and power seller and all that, just that first order should be simple. The first order should be simple. So the first order bonus says that when you enroll a new person, you're going to earn 15% of their first order, their first product order. Now let me tell you a little something about the first order bonus. When we first introduced the first order bonus, we had a little asterisk rule that said that for you to earn the bonus, the new person had to buy a product value bundle. And that's fine. We have a lot of great value bundles. We're trying to drive more volume product value bundles, but it kind of added a little element of complication. Because then you had to know whether to buy a product bundle or not buy a product bundle. So we simplified it. So I want you to know that as of right now, this month in February, when you enroll a new person, it's a new associate or a new customer. When you enroll someone new, you're going to earn 15% of their first order. Whatever it is, whether they order a value bundle or not, whether they order a bottle of Plus or $1,000 worth of Amber Toast Life, you're just going to get 15% of that. Is that good? Or is that good? All right. So that's the first order bonus. So that one's really simple. And again, that has to do with just that very first order. Now we have something called a mentor bonus. And the mentor bonus, I love the mentor bonus, because what the mentor bonus does is it really starts to motivate you to help your new person that you just enrolled rank up. As they start to rank up to new ranks, you're going to earn a monthly bonus. So what you see there is when I'm going to call it a new enrollment. It could be anybody you've ever enrolled, all right? But let's just think about the future. So you enroll someone new, a new associate, and you're going to work with them, encourage them, and help them get started. When they reach the rank of gold associate, now how much is gold associate? I mean, what's the volume there? It's just 750 volume. So it's very relatively minimal. Could they do that in their first month? Of course. Just some product they buy for their own family and a couple other customers, a couple of associates, and it just has to add up to 750. They could be a gold associate in the very first month. You, as the enroller, would earn $40. But here's the cool thing. It's not just a one-time, that's what a lot of these kind of type bonuses are in the industry, is you get some benefit when they do it one time. You can earn that every single month that person stays at that level, or obviously goes higher. So what if you had 10 people that you've enrolled? Again, it's over time, not all at once, but 10 people that you've helped reach the gold associate level. Just that bonus alone could be $400. Right? And so the way this works is that person moves up in rank, they move to director, you make 50, silver director 60, and on and on. Once they get to executive director, you can make $125 per month. Now, they can move past executive director, you will still earn the $125, it doesn't get higher than that, but you don't lose it when they move on to silver executive and so on and so forth. There's one little caveat I want to point out about this bonus. As I was talking with Chris earlier, he wanted to make sure that I express this point because it's important. You can only earn this bonus for your rank. You can't out-earn yourself. Where that would come up is if you enroll someone and they just take off to much higher levels, that's fantastic. That's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. That's what happened to me in the early days. I had one leg whoosh, take off. It didn't mean anything until I started doing something else, but it certainly did then, and it certainly does today. So having a runaway, successful leader is fantastic. But what this bonus says is that you will only earn your rank or lower. You can't earn higher than your rank. So if you yourself are a director, let's just say you're a director, and you enroll someone, and next month they become a gold associate. Well, of course, you're going to get 40. The next month they become a director, then you're going to get 50. Then the next month they shoot up to executive director. You're still a director because you don't necessarily have the side volume in this example. You would only continue to earn 50. You wouldn't earn the higher number until you get to that level or higher. Did I explain that well enough? All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So now we're talking about the unilevel. This is one that in and of itself can look complicated, but I want to try to simplify this. Unilevel, this is actually the majority, especially for mid-level and higher level leaders, a majority of your total commission comes from the unilevel. So let's look at what's on the screen. So first of all, unilevel, it pays on your product sales of your organization. So this is the product sales of your organization up to 7 levels in depth. I'll show you what that means in just a minute. Up to 7 levels in depth. The higher your rank, the deeper in pay that you earn and the higher percentage that you earn. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a minute. So just understand this. The higher up in leadership you go, the deeper in your organization you go, and the higher the percentages are. So that's a win-win. Deeper, more money, big win. And then the last one there is about compression. There's some people that sometimes want to know who counts for an order. So our system is set up that any associate order of 150 PV or higher, it's actually PPV or higher, counts as a level. If, for whatever reason, it's less than that, then they get compressed. You still get paid on it. It just doesn't count as a level. If that means something to you, great. If it doesn't mean anything, you don't have to know it, all right? But that's compression. So now let's look at what the unilevel payout looks like. It's kind of looks like a complicated chart, but it's actually not. The letters at the top represent the ranks. So over on the far left, it's silver associate, and that goes all the way to silver presidential and above. So that's just whatever your rank is, right? So if you look at it, what happens is as you move higher in rank, you earn deeper in your organization. Like as a first rank silver associate, you only earn on your first level, 3%, first level. Then as you move up in rank, you earn deeper, and now you earn 4 at your first level and 2 at your second. And that continues on to silver presidential and higher, where you just earn higher percentage and deeper rank. So do you understand the basic principles of unilevel? Now here's a question that I get a lot. Do I only earn income through 7 levels? The answer is yes in the unilevel plan, but no in the overall plan, because we have something else called check match, leader check match, actually spelled correctly in Australia. Leader check match. I just wanted to point that out. I have some really good people back there that helped me with that because I would have certainly got that wrong. What the leader check match does is, without getting into the whole system of it, essentially, the leader check match pays you up to 20% of your leader's unilevel check. Up to 20% of your leader's unilevel check, and we actually can pay down through 6 generations. Just like the unilevel, the higher in leadership you are, the more generations you earn. Again, today's not a compensation fully explanation. I just want you to learn the principles of this. That check match pays you on your leaders on their unilevel plan. What if you have a leader that's on your 10th level? and you can earn up to 20% of their unilevel plan. What's their unilevel plan? 7 levels of their organization that doesn't even start to your 10th level. So do you have the potential to earn further than just 7 levels? Yes. We're going to show you in a minute, or I'm going to show you in a minute, that when your volume is closer to you, the earnings can be higher, because then you have the potential to earn both unilevel and check match. But it is important to know that you have earning potential on your whole organization through the leader check match, all right? Then the last thing is what we call the global pool bonus. The global pool bonus is simply 1.5% of global sales. We put that into a giant pool, and as you reach the level of bronze presidential or higher, you get a share of that pool. The higher up in leadership you get, the bigger your share. But what's cool about this bonus is, as Mannatech continues to grow all over the world, particularly as we're growing, we got some really big plans in China and Korea and all over the world. You may not have somebody directly in China or Korea or US or anywhere else outside of Australia, but once you get into this pool, you benefit in the global success of the company. So I love the concept of the global pool bonus. All right, so that's the 6 ways of earning income, and a lot of times we've kind of stopped the presentation there and said, all right, great, 6 ways, good luck, go do it. And we really still haven't shown you much from a strategy standpoint. And frankly, strategy comes from the leaders. Not from the corporate stage, it comes from the leaders. But we do have enough experience now with this compensation plan that what I want to show you today are some different ideas around different building strategies. And then ultimately, it's up to us as leaders to decide the specific strategy that we want to use. Does that make sense? So don't see this, what I'm going to show you as, well, he's saying that's what we got to do. If your group and team wants to do something a little different, that's fine. I just want to show you some ideas that I think are pretty mind-blowing. You like mind-blowing ideas? Hope I didn't oversell that. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to compounding. Remember I told you we're going to come back there. We're going to talk about compounding now. Compounding, remember we talked about 3 by 3 by 3, right? That's compounding. That's where we're going to start. We looked at modeling different structures. So we had somebody in our office in the comp team. His name is David Wood. He worked with somebody named Omid, and they worked with our IT team, and then they ended up getting this run through compliance. And so this has been a multi-month project that we actually wanted to run some modeling of different strategies and what the ultimate commission outcome would be for those different models. Because we've had a lot of people say, well, what if I built this way? What would that do? Well, what if I built this way? What would that do? Well, we can't really be in the business of guessing or forecasting. That's, from a regulatory standpoint, not supposed to do that. But we can certainly model things and show you what the results of the modeling are. So that's what this is. This is exact, specific modeling that goes through all 6 of those ways of earning income, and ultimately it's going to show you some end results. So the first way we looked at this is 3 by 3. We did 2 by 2 at first, but so many of the leadership positions actually require a third leg that we just decided 3 by 3 is a minimum. Now again, this doesn't mean that everybody has to start now, okay, I gotta have 3, you get 3, get 3. You could still start with 2 and help them get 2, but eventually you're gonna need a third leg if you're gonna build this way. And if everybody in your team eventually has a third leg, then eventually we have a 3 by 3 system. So a 3 by 3 simply means you have 3 people who get 3 people who get 3 people for 5 levels. All right, so let's look at what that looks like from the people. When you compound the people, I said earlier, you have 3 on your first level, you have 9, then you have 27, then you have 81, then you have 243. Now there is one foundational piece of this model that's really important. We had to have some minimum purchase, some minimum, what's the number that we put in for each person purchasing? So what we decided to do was to build off this concept of 500. Now again, that's not you buying $500 or 500 points. That's simply that you as an associate have created a 500-point circle, 500 PPV. I'm going to get more into that in a minute, but all that means is your own personal purchase for yourself, your spouse, your kids, whatever, and then have a couple of customers. If you choose to have 5 in auto order, that's fine, but that's not mandatory for this system. We just want to create 500. Does that make sense? All right, so that's our building block, is 500. So if you have a 3x3 system, then on your first level, you would be a director. You would have enough volume, people buying products, creating the volume, so that you would be a director, and all that adds together. So the unit level, there's a mentor bonus in this, there's, in this case, or AQ bonus, all that adds together to $459 USD. Now, these numbers I'm showing you are maintained in US dollars. It's because the modeling was done that, and I just felt like to come here and just automatically convert those to Australian dollars. I just wanted to show you what they were in US dollars. Then we can do the math later on. All right, so level 2. So now you've got 3 who gets 3. You're an executive director. The income of that would be $883. Now again, that's not the average of executive. That's the actual model of a structure that said, what if I just had 3 people and helped them get 3? And we all had a few customers and buying product, and each person had a 500 PPV. You'd be making $883 a month, US. I think that's more than $1,000 Australian. That's pretty good money. What if you took it down one more level? Now you have 27 associates on that level. You'd be a gold executive making over $2,000 US in that month. What if you took it down another level? Now you're presidential, making over $5,000 as a presidential director. Now again, that's the actual model of a system that said you got 3, who gets 3, who gets 3, who gets 3. 4 levels down, you're presidential. 5 levels down, you're silver presidential. This is a very doable concept. Now it is a model, and models, life gets in the way, and some people do 3 and some do 2 and some do 6. But the concept of teaching 3, who get 3, who get 3, go down 5 levels, you could be a silver presidential making $16,508. Now I want to add one more person. What if we thought about 4? Who gets 4? Do you remember the compounding effect? This is not some small deviation from 3x3. This is significantly more. 4x4. 5 levels, you have over 1,000 associates just on your 5th level. Let's look at level 1. It's about the same, actually. Level 1 doesn't change a whole lot. You're still a director, in this example, making over $500, 515 US dollars. Yep. Those actually, you're right. We did some editing of this as we got in, but those should be 4 associates. The numbers on the right are correct. We did some copying and pasting, so I apologize for that. But the numbers on the right are correct. So this is level 2. You now have 16 associates, so just go with me on that. Don't worry about that as much, but now you've got 4x4, 2 levels down, executive director, $1,383. Watch one more level down. One more level down, you're now a gold executive. So it's 4. You up to 4. Who got 4? 3 levels down. Could you do that in 6 months? Does that look doable in 6 months? It could be a gold executive, over $4,000 a month. Now again, that's not the average income of gold executive. That is the model of this system with all that volume in there, all in your first 3 levels. What if we took it down one more level? Presidential director. Presidential director. What if we took it down one more level? You know what? You're actually, I'm looking at this now, the numbers on the right are 100% correct. The leadership levels are not. At that highest level, you're actually a 1-star platinum. The one before that is silver presidential, and the one before that is presidential. And I'm sorry that we messed that up, but I'm going to show you something when I'm going to use these same numbers in a minute in Australian dollars that are correct. But here's the point. 4, who gets 4, who gets 4? Again, the math is correct. The math on the actual numbers are correct. You could be, that 3rd level is actually presidential. The 3rd level 4 is presidential director. It's making over $4,000 per month in this system. Do you think that you might could inspire somebody to say, I don't know how to do this business? Well, do you know 4 people might be interested in making some extra money? That we want to help them get 4, help them get 4. Do you know just that, 4? That's presidential director. That's the power of compounding. That's the power of leverage. Now, I told you that I'm going to talk to you guys about something called a business development bonus, and then I'm going to tie these numbers back in. So I'm going to move away from this for a minute, and then we're going to come back to these numbers, and we're going to close with the system that I talked about earlier. But I do want to finish with my story, just finish up the story I started earlier, because I didn't want to leave you with the dreams that didn't work out for me. I wasn't a cowboy, and I didn't go into the Army. But in 1996, I was able to quit that full-time job. So I quit the part-time job earlier, and then I quit the full-time job in 1996, and I went on a big cruise to Alaska to celebrate, and ended up meeting a beautiful girl from Oklahoma on the Alaskan cruise, and about a year later, we got married. And, I know. About a year later, we got married, and then in 1999, Chris Simons actually said this earlier as he was introducing me, but in 1999, my wife and I were recognized at a manifest stage for making presidential director in 1999. You know, that was such an important accomplishment. I was so proud of that. But what it really meant is the lifestyle that this industry can provide, the time and the energy and the effort and the phone calls and the disappointments and all the other things led up to the point where you can do this business on a full-time basis. And my wife and I have done some awesome things. We've traveled the world. We've seen some great places. We live in a nice house. We drive nice cars. We donate a lot of money to our church. We've been on mission trips. We've done a lot of really cool things. But to me, the best thing that we've been able to get out of this business is my wife and I were both stay-at-home parents to our 2 kids. We got to invest in them, got to invest in time in their lives, and we got to be stay-at-home parents. Now, as many of you in this room know, your kids don't stay looking like that very long. So that's actually our kids today. Those kids grew up. And my son is in college at the University of Texas. My daughter is a junior in high school, and she's on the dance team. And the time that we were able to invest in their lives growing up is priceless. And so many people that I know today that put off their life because they're working so much, they've got so much linear income, so many linear jobs, that they don't have time for life. They don't have time for each other, their spouse, their kids, their family. And later they're going to regret that. Many times they regret it today. So to offer somebody an opportunity to add leveraged income, to add an asset income business, to give somebody a little time freedom. Now, I'm not saying everybody who comes full-time, career-based, making great money, living in a great house, but even an extra $1,000 a month to many, many people is huge. An extra $1,000 a month. But they're not going to be able to know that that's possible unless we talk to them. To know that's possible unless we show it to them. But that's the opportunity that we have for all of us. You know, my dream, as I said earlier, I love to travel. And we've really got to do some fun things. The picture on the upper left is actually a ski trip that my whole family took. My parents, got a brother and a sister and their families. We've been on several of those ski trips. We really get to do a lot of fun things as a family. The picture there to the right is a trip in Hawaii that took my immediate family on. And just being able to go to those places as a family is incredible. The picture on the lower left is my brother and I took a trip to, we've taken several trips to Nicaragua to do some mission work. And again, the opportunity that this business offers is not just the money you make and all those things. It's also being able to do something of real value and purpose in life as well. And being able to have the time to take a week off and go to Nicaragua, for me, do a week every summer and go to a church camp and volunteer to church camp. And so that's also what you get when you have time freedom. When you invest time in a business like this, you have the time to do this. So those are my dreams. And again, I would ask you to go back to revisit your dreams. If you've ever been in a place where you started to shrink your dreams and I can't do that and I better check that off and I got to reposition this, let's open those dreams back up again. Let's think about what we want, what our dreams are for the future, for your family, for your life, for your kids, for your grandkids. This business can bring that to you. You have the opportunity to achieve your dreams in this business. Right there in the palm of your hand. We all have it. Whether you started in 1999, 20 years ago, or whether you started last week and you're coming in here like, what in the world is all this going on? We all have the same opportunity right in our hands. The same opportunity to talk to somebody, change their life from a product standpoint, change their life from a health standpoint, change their life from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint as well. But we do have to get out and talk to people. We have to sometimes decide, not sometimes, we have to decide that this is what we're going to do. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to decide to make it happen. So what I want to do right now is we're going to transition. That would normally have been the end of my talk. But we're bringing something new to the Australian market, and it's called the Business Development Bonus. And I kind of teased it earlier. But what I've done is I'm going to show you what the Business Development Bonus is, but then I'm going to take it to that next step and show you what if we build our business with the Business Development Bonus, what that might look like over time. So here's where it goes. All right. So the first step is, and again, I would assume talking to a new person, first step is just to enroll as an associate. Associates participate in our Business Development Bonus. Customers buy products, but they obviously don't earn income. So first step is to enroll as a Mannatech associate. And then I told you about the foundational component of creating 500 PPV. How do you create 500 PPV? You simply buy products for yourself, personal consumption, and then have a few customers. 1 customer, 2 customers, 3 customers, whatever. Enough customers to create 500 PPV. Because we know as you're talking to new people, as we're talking to people to become associates, that we're going to run across some people and say, hey, I just want to be a customer right now. Great. I need customers. Customers are great. They're going to help me get to the 500 PPV, right? But just the ability to buy products ourselves and count towards that, our own order plus customer orders, what you make from the customer volume is, the way I would show this is, you're going to earn 15% of your new customer volume. Whatever they buy, you're going to earn 15% of that. We call that first order bonus. But again, this is just step 1, creating that 500 PPV. I don't know where our people went. We have people on the screen that are not there. Okay, so imagine pretty faces on the screen. So step 2 is enrolling 2 new associates. When you enroll 2 new associates and teach them to get 500 PPV, you are what we call Team 2 qualified. Team 2 bonus will pay you $125 Australian dollars, $125 for being Team 2. What have you done? You've created 500 PPV yourself, and you've enrolled 2 associates and helped them do the same. But you're not just Team 2 qualified, you're also a director. You're a director because now you have enough volume to qualify on our leadership chart to call you a director. And so the total income, now this is a model, this is not a projection, the actual total income of you being Team 2 qualified. Now for this, I've converted this into Australian dollars. The actual model shows that at this level, you would earn $206 Australian per month. So all you've done is enroll 2 associates and help them get their 500. Team 2 qualified. One little caveat, and this is not for the new person, but we also have the AQ team, and I'm just showing you that if you have already qualified for the AQ team, you don't earn the AQ team and the Team 2 bonus at the same time. You would earn the higher of the 2. Okay, so that's just a technicality, but as you're talking to a new person, that wouldn't matter. Okay, step 3, enroll 2 more associates. So now you have 4 phantom associates there on the screen. You have 4 associates that you've enrolled. You've helped them each get 500. You know what we call that? Team 4. Pretty creative, huh? Team 4 pays you 315 Australian dollars for having 4 associates that you've enrolled. They don't have to be on your front level. They can be anywhere you place them. You might have heard we did a promotion for the business development. We did it a little different in the US where they had to be new associates. For Australia, you know what we said? Anyone you've ever enrolled. Anyone you've ever enrolled. I thought you'd be more excited about that. Anyone you've ever enrolled will count towards your team 2 or team 4. Okay? I like that. So what that means is you're all eligible to participate in this. Some of you are going to qualify immediately for this. So you need 4 associates who do 500 PPV. Call that team 4, $315. But you're also a silver director. And as a silver director, again, with all the volume, you would earn 490 Australian dollars. And that includes the team 4 portion. So now you've enrolled 4 associates and you've almost earned $500 per month in this system. Do you think that you could inspire someone to do this in their first month? Maybe the second month, maybe the third month, but you can maybe give them the vision to make $500 per month pretty quickly. So what's the next step? What if now we want to help your 4 associates get team 4 qualified. So really what we've done is taken the 4 by 4, right? One more level down. So you got 4 and you're going to help them all get team 4 qualified. You would be what's called a silver executive. Silver executive, and the actual income from the modeling would be $1,625 for being a silver executive. Do you know what you've done? You've gotten 4 associates who've got 4 associates. That's it. Silver executive, $1,625. Let's do one more. Let's kind of build the dream. Let's get excited about the potential. What if that just happened down one more? What if we just went one more step? You take it down one more step, which is simply now those 16 people that have just come in, you've helped them get team 4 qualified. So now you got 4 more. You are now a presidential director. The modeling shows that at that level, adding up all the income, all the different ways I showed you, team 4, unilevel, check match, all the mentor bonus, everything, based on the volume and the people, 5,605 Australian dollars. You got 4, team 4 qualified, help them get 4, and you help them get 4, presidential director. Now I'm not going to show you more than that, but the modeling shows you go down one more, it's really crazy, you go down one more, really crazy. So if you got like somebody that $5,000 doesn't do it for them, then we can show them even more than that. But I think stopping at this level would be enough.